Brethren, gather close, let me take you into the heart of Egypt, where the air was thick with the scent of jasmine and the distant call to prayer still echoed in my ears. I'm speaking to you now, yes, you watching this, because what happened to us that night is a testimony that God is the greatest and will forever be. If this story touches your spirit, subscribe right now, share this video with your friends, your family, let the world know that miracles still happen. And when you're done, drop in the comments, God is the greatest and will forever be. Let's flood the comments with faith. It was a quiet evening, the kind where you feel the day winding down like a gentle river. My family and I were in our home, laughing, sharing stories, thanking God for another day. Little did we know, brethren, that the enemy was lurking. Unknown gunmen, faces hidden behind darkness, hearts colder than the desert night, were plotting against us. I remember the sudden crash, glass shattering, doors bursting open like thunder. My heart stopped. Who are these people? I thought. But there was no time to think. They stormed in, guns pointed, voices barking orders in a language laced with malice. Brethren, imagine this, your home, your sanctuary, invaded in seconds. They didn't just want our belongings, they wanted our lives. I looked at my children, their eyes wide with terror, my wife clutching my hand so tight I felt her pulse racing. Stay calm, I whispered, but inside, fear was screaming. These men moved like shadows, ripping through drawers, snatching jewelry, cash, phones, everything we had worked for. But that wasn't enough for them. Oh no. They wanted to erase us completely. As they tied us up, I kept praying under my breath, God, you see this. You are here. Brethren, God never fails. Even in that moment, when death stared us in the face, I felt a peace that surpasses understanding. They dragged us to the center of the room, laughing as they poured gasoline around us. The smell burned my nose, sharp and suffocating. Then, one of them struck a match. The flame danced in his hand like a demon's smile. This is it, I thought. But no, brethren, this was not the end. The fire started small, licking the walls, but it grew fast, hungry, roaring, consuming everything in its path. Smoke filled the room, choking us, blinding us. They left us there, bound, in a house now transformed into a furnace. The heat was unbearable, the flames climbing higher, closer. I could hear my children crying, my wife praying aloud, God, save us. And I, brethren, I was shouting in my spirit, Lord, if you saved Daniel from the lions, if you saved Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego from the fiery furnace, you can save us now. Brethren, God will give you breakthrough in anything that might be troubling you. That night, He was about to show up in a way we could never imagine. The fire was raging, the smoke was thick, but something shifted. I felt it. A presence, a power, a peace that said, I am here. We were not alone. The ropes that bound us, the flames that surrounded us, the fear that gripped us, none of it could stand against the God we serve. I'm telling you this because someone watching needs to hear it. No matter how dark your night, no matter how fierce the fire, God is the greatest and will forever be. He sees you. He hears you. And He is coming for you. Subscribe now, share this testimony, let it reach someone who needs hope. Comment below, God is the greatest and will forever be. Because what happened next, brethren, will make your faith explode. Brethren, if you're still with me, you're about to witness the power of God in a way that will shake your soul. This is chapter 2 of our testimony, and I'm speaking directly to you, the one watching, the one who feels trapped, the one who thinks there's no way out. Subscribe now, share this video with everyone you know, let this testimony travel like wildfire. And in the comments, declare, God is the greatest and will forever be. Let's make heaven smile. The house was an inferno. Flames roared like lions, devouring everything, our furniture, our memories, our dreams. The smoke was so thick I couldn't see my own hands. We were tied together, my family and I, in the middle of the living room, the heat pressing against our skin like a living thing. The gunmen were gone, their laughter still echoing in my mind as they left us to die. But brethren, God never fails. In that moment, when death was certain, faith became our oxygen. I could hear my youngest child coughing, my wife's voice trembling as she prayed, "Lord, you are our shield." And I, brethren, I was shouting in my spirit, "God, you parted the Red Sea. You raised Lazarus. You can get us out of this." The ropes cut into my wrists, the fire was inches away, and the ceiling was starting to crack, raining sparks like judgment. But something was happening. I felt a strength that wasn't mine. A courage that didn't make sense. A hope that defied the flames. Brethren, God will give you breakthrough in anything that might be troubling you. I looked at my family, their faces streaked with tears and soot, and I said, "We are not going to die here. God is with us." And in that moment, I felt the ropes loosen. Not by my strength, not by chance, but by the hand of God. One by one, the knots gave way. I don't know how, brethren, but I know who. The fire was still raging, the smoke still choking, but we were free. "Move!" I shouted, grabbing my children, pulling my wife to her feet. The door was blocked by flames, the windows too high. The heat was melting the walls, and the air was poison. But God, oh God, He was our guide. I remembered a small vent in the corner of the room, barely noticeable, hidden behind a cabinet. In the chaos, the cabinet had fallen, revealing the vent. It was tiny, barely big enough for a child, but it was a way out. Brethren, imagine this, a family of 5, crawling through smoke and fire, toward a hole no bigger than a bread box. My children went first, one by one, their small bodies slipping through like God was stretching the vent just for them. My wife went next, her faith stronger than the flames. And I, the last one, I whispered, "Lord, if you saved Noah in the flood, you can save me now." I pushed through, the fire singeing my clothes, the smoke burning my lungs, but I made it. We collapsed outside, gasping for air, our bodies covered in ash but untouched by the flames. The house was gone, brethren. Everything we owned, reduced to rubble. But we were alive. Not a single burn, not a single injury. The neighbors came running, shouting, "How did you survive?" And I pointed to the sky and said, "God is the greatest and will forever be." Brethren, someone watching this is facing their own fire, sickness, debt, betrayal, despair. I'm telling you, God is about to make a way where there is no way. Subscribe, share this testimony, let it reach the brokenhearted. Comment, God is the greatest and will forever be. Because the story doesn't end here. What God did next will leave you speechless. Brethren, you're still here, and that means your faith is growing with every word. This is chapter 3, and I'm speaking to you, the one who's been praying for a miracle, the one who's been waiting for God to move. Subscribe now, share this video far and wide, let this testimony be a beacon of hope. And in the comments, shout it, God is the greatest and will forever be. Let's shake the heavens with our praise. We were outside, surrounded by the smoldering ruins of our home. The night sky was clear, the stars shining like diamonds, as if heaven itself was watching. My family huddled together, shaking, crying, but alive. The fire had taken everything, our clothes, our money, our memories, but it couldn't take our faith. Brethren, God never fails. In that moment, when we had nothing left, God was about to show us that He is everything. The neighbors gathered, some crying, some praying, some just staring in disbelief. "How did you get out?" they kept asking. And I told them, it wasn't us. It was God. But brethren, the miracle wasn't just our escape. It was what happened next. As we stood there, barefoot in the dirt, a stranger appeared. He was dressed simply, his face calm, his eyes full of light. He didn't say much, just handed me a bag. "For your family," he said, and then he was gone. I opened the bag, and brethren, my hands trembled. Inside were clothes, food, water, and enough money to get us through the weeks ahead. No one knew this man. No one saw where he came from or where he went. But I knew. It was an angel, sent by the God who sees every tear, hears every prayer. Brethren, God will give you breakthrough in anything that might be troubling you. That night, He didn't just save our lives, He provided for us in a way only He could. But the enemy wasn't done. Days later, the police came, asking questions, trying to understand how we survived. They searched the ruins, looking for clues, but found nothing. The gunmen were gone, vanished like smoke. But God, oh God, He was still working. A week later, a church in the community heard our story. They didn't just pray for us, they showed up. With food, with clothes, with a temporary home. Strangers became family, brethren, because God turned our tragedy into a testimony. I'm telling you this because someone watching needs to know, your ashes are not the end. God is about to turn your mourning into dancing. He's about to send help you didn't expect, provision you didn't earn, favor you didn't deserve. Subscribe now, share this video, let it reach someone who's lost hope. Comment, God is the greatest and will forever be. Because the final chapter of this story, brethren, will make you shout hallelujah. Brethren, we've reached the final chapter, and I'm speaking to your spirit now, the part of you that knows God is real, that knows He's about to do something big in your life. This is our testimony, from the flames to the favor, and I need you to subscribe, share this video with everyone you know, let this story change lives. And in the comments, declare with me, God is the greatest and will forever be. Let's make this a movement of faith. Months have passed since that night in Egypt. The house is gone, but we are stronger. The gunmen were never caught, but God fought for us. We lost everything, but we gained a story that will live forever. Brethren, God never fails. Today, my family is thriving. We have a new home, new clothes, new dreams, all because God turned our tragedy into a triumph. People ask me, how do you still smile? How do you still praise? And I tell them, because I serve a God who sees the end from the beginning. A God who makes a way in the wilderness, who brings water from the rock, who pulls His children from the fire. Brethren, God will give you breakthrough in anything that might be troubling you. That night, He didn't just save us, He marked us. He made us living proof that no weapon formed against us shall prosper. Today, I travel, sharing this testimony, telling the world that God is the greatest and will forever be. Churches invite us, communities embrace us, and strangers become brothers and sisters because of what God did. And you, brethren, you're part of this story now. By watching, by sharing, by commenting, you're spreading the gospel of God's power. Someone watching this is facing their own gunman, addiction, depression, poverty, fear. I'm telling you, God is about to show up. He's about to loose your bonds, open your vent, send your angel. Your breakthrough is coming. Subscribe now, share this testimony, let it reach the ends of the earth. Comment, God is the greatest and will forever be. Because this story, brethren, is not just ours, it's yours. And God is about to write the next chapter of your miracle. Check out other testimony videos on our page and leave a like on this video. God bless you.